doing this will almost certainly make you poor. So you saved up your first $1,000. Congratulations. Now, if you're a wise person, the first thing you will ask yourself is, how do I invest it and where? First thing that will probably come to mind is the stock market. After all, everyone a big guru today on YouTube talks about it. They say, invest regularly and retire by 50. Fine, let's pretend that we listen to them, dive into the numbers and see if they're actually right. According to macro trends, the average life expectancy in the US is around 80. This means you'll have 30 years to enjoy your money. But let's be a bit more extreme. Let's say that you can retire only at 60, which means you have more time to invest and let the compounding effect take place. So, our first assumption, retire by 60. So in order to live comfortably without working, you'll need at least $100,000 a year. Now you'll probably also want your dream house because you worked so hard. So let's add another 1 million. Quick math. 20 years at $100,000 equals $2 million. Plus your dream home, that's $3 million. So you will need $3 million after taxes to peacefully retire at 60 and enjoy your life. Now keep in mind that if you want to retire at 50, you would need $4 million. So the S&P 500 is the most common and safe way to invest your money in the stock market. And you've probably heard that the average is 9 to 10% annually. Sounds great, right? Give me 3 minutes of your time and I'll show you why it's not that great. Let's start by considering inflation, which is a normal part of economic growth. So inflation basically means that the value of the dollar goes down and the prices go up. Your money loses value over time. So with inflation of 2 to 3%, your actual gain is closer to 8%. Well, still good. What's the problem? I mean, it goes down a little bit, but 8% is still good, right? Wait, I'm not done yet. When you withdraw your precious money after you saved for all the years, you need to pay taxes. That's called capital gains. You pay for all the money you earned during the years. So if you put 10 years ago $100 and today you have $1,000, you need to pay taxes on this $900. That's typically between 15 to 20%. Let's go with 15. Well, I still don't get it. After all these years, I'll be so rich that these 15% are nothing, right? So let's imagine the scenario. You're 20, you have $1,000 to invest, and you invest another $1,000 every month. With this rate and our previous calculations, you'll need 41.1 years to be able to retire. That's over the 60 we talked about before. And that's also assuming that you can save $1,000 every month at your 20s and keep on doing it until you're 60. If you cannot, the situation is even worse. So you need to work 41 years in order to retire and enjoy your money for 20 years. Sounds a bit like a trap, but that's what most of us do. That's the safest way. But wait, we didn't even consider some risks. You know, life happens. Sometimes you just need cash. An emergency or something happened and you need the money right now. If you didn't set aside some money, you'll need to go into your investment and take some out. So they say, save 6 months of living before you invest in the stock market. Have an emergency fund. According to those, the average household in the US spends around $6,400 a month. So $6,400 times 6 equals almost $40,000. That's what you'll need to save before you can start investing. So if you can save $1,000 a month, it'll take you 40 months to save the money. That's more than 3 years. So by now we're closer to 45 years that you need to work in order to get that 3 million. But okay, let's say that you did it. Are you still safe? Remember that every time you take out money out of that emergency fund, you need to put the money back. So alright, let's say that you have a great life, nothing happens, and you do not need to touch the money for 45 years. Is it possible? For sure. Is it probable? I don't think so. But let's say you did. Imagine that. You're 60 years old and bam, the stock market crashes. You start losing your money over time. After 1 year, you've lost more than 50% of what you earned, which is around $1.2 million. Just vanished. By the way, it will probably happen multiple times before you hit 60. Heck, there was 7 major crashes in the last 100 years. That's once every 14 years. So you'd probably face at least a couple. Plus, working 45 years is a marathon. You're giving up 45 years of your life to work. I hope you love your job because according to the Gallup survey, more than 85% of the people hate their job. So you see where I'm going with that? And finally, life changes. Your goal might change. What if after 20 years you decide that it's no longer your goal to retire and you just want to go to travel the world? Then a few years later, you sit down and consider how much money you could have had and then you feel bad for doing that. My point is, traditional investment sucks. There is way too much risk of living an unhappy life for 45 years and not hitting the goal. So, Aurel, how should I invest my money? I have a great investment idea for you and make sure to tell everyone about it. Investing and subscribing to this channel will get you a video a week about personal development, entrepreneurship, and tips on how to grow your wealth, and it's free. So do it. Well, first I need you to answer that. Have you ever had a brilliant idea for an app, an invention that could change how things work, or a website that could help millions of people? I bet we've all had at least one idea, but we just didn't know how to make it work. So here's the story for you. Joe's a fitness enthusiast who struggles to track his progress. He realized that if someone would invent an app that would help you track the progress, it could change everything. So instead of stashing his $1,000 in the stock market or a savings account, Joe hired a developer to develop that app for him. By investing the money in the app development, Joe creates something meaningful, both for him and the people around him. And even if the app fails, Joe still gains that valuable experience and knowledge that he wouldn't get anywhere else. Joe now knows better how to manage people, run a development process, and the costs of creating an app from scratch. He also gained that confidence to do these things in the future again. So the next time he got that $1,000, his next big idea will work better. And all he needs is one investment to work out. And he's probably good for the rest of his life. Joe could also be a Joanne, who decided that she wants to take her beautician career to the next level. So she decides to spend the $1,000 each month that she gets to turn a room in her house into a clinic. Or she decides to rent a room and do it there if she doesn't have a room in her house. She buys some equipment to attract new customers and eventually pays someone to place great ads for her. Joanne accepts customers each week to get the word out and make more people come to her. Then at one point, when she feels comfortable enough, she can take that step to be independent and earn way more than she ever did before. So chasing entrepreneurship and helping people versus working for 45 years in a boring job sounds like a no-brainer to me. I myself am working on such a project right now. It's not a workout app, but you can find out right here. And you can also subscribe and be updated monthly about it. For now, take your time, think about it, and let me know what you come up with down in the comments.